Hey folks, Dean Gazowski, 3D Property Solutions, and last week I ran across an appraiser that was going ahead and telling me a little bit about bungalows and square footage not counting for the finished space in your common Metro Detroit bungalow. Now what I want to cover today is the exact example of what was explained to me. Okay, so let's go ahead and get to the details. So the general idea is that you've got hip walls in these bungalows. Okay, what's a hip wall? It's this wall right here. It's this one that goes from, typically when you're in the bungalows, they come up to your hip, right? That's kind of how they got their name. Now, I don't know if that's fact, but I'm making that part up. I think it sounds good. How about you? Now, the bungalows that have the 4-foot hip wall, in order to qualify for square footage, you got to understand this general formula. So, hip wall, 4 feet, okay? Then the bungalows are going to have these walls, which are these walls right here that kind of are slanted, right? Then you've got the ceiling portion right here, which has got to be, in order for this area to be classified as square footage, it needs to meet the following criteria: 4-foot hip wall, and then the ceiling has got to be at least 50% of the surface area of the floor. Now, if that makes sense, you can actually classify that, or if that meets that criteria rather, you now have the ability to add this as square footage. So the appraiser that I had the conversation with, I said, listen man, you gotta be kidding me. He says, no, this is something that they're starting to implement when it comes to appraisals. So now when you're pricing a house and expecting it to sell at a certain square footage, understand that this is something new that's coming down the pike that you've got to be aware of when you're calculating square footage and ultimately pricing a house. So if you have further questions on that, feel free to refer to the American Appraisers Institute. I think that's the name of these folks. But they have a report. They also have some online training for you. I'll dig up the link and post it in the comments below. That way you can be well informed. And they also offer a class on that. I think it's like a couple $100 for you to better understand what's going on in this business. So again, Dean Gazowski, 3D Property Solutions, just giving you a little bit of insight to help you stay ahead of the competition. And if you need to contact me directly, the direct line is 248-940-1099.